President Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, disclosed in a statement that a meeting of the Federal Executive Council will not hold today. Oil prices have fallen today, weighed down by concerns by oversupply as Libyan output improves. North Korea's leader have ordered the production of more rocket warheads and engines. And on sport, Neymar is to fight a claim by Barcelona for compensation following his move to Paris Saint-Germain, and also promised to battle his old club for part of his 2016. Good day and welcome to African Broadcasting Network News. I am Ogale Mafru. Now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, disclosed in a statement that the meeting of the Federal Executive Council that holds every Wednesday did not hold today. Mr. Adesina did not, however, disclose the reason behind the decision to cancel the meeting. Media advisors said Buhari would today receive the report of the investigation committee into the investigations against the suspended secretary to the government of the Federation, Bashir Lawal, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ayo Oke. Buhari has been operating from an office in his residence since Monday, while the presidency claimed that his main office had been destroyed by rodents and needed to be renovated. The president had on April 19 suspended Lawal and Oke and constituted a three-man committee led by Osinbajo to investigate them. The panel investigated allegations of violations of law and due process made against Lawal in the award of contracts under the presidential initiative on the Northeast, while it probed Oke on the discovery of large amounts of foreign and local currencies by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in a residential apartment at Osborne Towers, Ikoyi, Lagos, for which NIA is laying claim. The committee, which had the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami San, and the National Security Advisor, Babagana Muguno, as members, was billed to submit its report to Buhari on May 8, but could not do so because the president left the country on May 7 for medical follow-up in London. Nigerian Education Minister Malam Adamu announced that government has lifted a ban placed on the Post-Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (Post-UTME) in Abuja on Tuesday, while opening the 2017 Joint Admissions and Matriculation Policy Meeting. Malam Adamu stated that the 2016 decision to ban the post-UTME was done in error and said he was ill-advised to take that decision. He highlighted that corruption in the system was also responsible for the decision to ban the post-UTME exercise, as he warned that no institution should charge any fee above 2,000 naira per candidate in the exercise, and warned that it must be corruption-free. Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) yesterday announced that 120 will be the minimal cut-off point for 2017/2018 tertiary admission consideration into universities. The board announced that 100 will be used as the cut-off point for similar admission into polytechnics and colleges of education. And now on business. The Nigerian stock market soared by 1.03% at the close of trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Tuesday as 21 gainers emerged. A total of 244.315 million shares were worth 3.672 billion naira exchanged hands in 3829 deals, with 22 stock making the loser chart. NSE market capitalization appreciated to 12.739 trillion naira from 12.609 trillion naira as the all-share index closed at 36962.48 basis points from 36584.44 basic points. The day's gain pushed the year-to-date return to 37.54%, but the market turnover and volume traded dipped by 41.45% and 3.68% respectively. Commenting on the market performance, analysts at the Afri Invest Securities in a brief said the positive performance was on account of gain of 4.3% in Dangote Smith PLC. Ex Dangote Smith, the benchmark index would have declined 0.3%. Oil prices have fallen today, weighed down by the concerns of oversupply as Libyan output improves and as U.S. fuel inventories rose despite the peak summer driving season. Brent crude futures, the international benchmark for oil prices, were at $51.65 per barrel shortly before 8 a.m. Irish time, down 22% or 0.4% from their last close. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $47.65 a barrel, down 18% or 0.4%. Libya's Sharara oil feed, the country's largest, is gradually restarting today after a shutdown, although instability in the country means that output there could be volatile. Sharara recently reached output of 280,000 barrels per day, but closed earlier this week due to a pipeline blockade. This production is key to Libya oil output, which surged above 1 million barrels in late June, about 4 times its level last summer. Libya rising output is a headache for the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, which together with non-OPEC producers, including Russia, has pledged to hold back around 1.8 million barrels of supply between January this year and March 2018 to tighten supplies. However, OPEC has so far fallen short of its pledge, in part due to Libya's strong output. The OPEC member has been exempt from courts. The next meeting of a ministerial committee of OPEC and non-OPEC states to discuss their production part has been proposed for 22nd September. That's it on business news for today. Let's join Okemote for African stories.
Thank you, Ugali. The stories from some African countries. An official of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has been arrested in Machakos while trying to buy copies of Form 34A from agents of a political party. Mavoko IEBC Deputy Returning Officer Onutmols Kaloki was arrested on Tuesday in Logol after 2 agents of Mahidelo Chapchap Party alerted the police. The agents, Mrs. Evelyn Wenda and Mrs. Winnie Udinge, said Mr. Kaloki had been calling them since Saturday asking them to surrender the forms. The agent says Mr. Kaloki had promised to give them money in exchange for the forms. Machakos Directorate of Criminal Investigations boss Jonah Kiri on Wednesday says the police were holding the suspects as they investigate the matter. Mr. Kiri says a decision will be made on whether to charge the suspects or release him on bond. Angolans vote today in an election marking the end of President José Eduardo dos Santos' 38-year reign, with his MPLA party set to retain power despite the economic crisis in that country. The MPLA, which has ruled since Angola's independence from Portugal in 1975, is expected to defeat opposition parties that are still fled by dos Santos' authoritarian regime. Dos Santos' unexpected retirement, reportedly prompted by ill health, has triggered the biggest political transition in decades for Angola, a leading oil exporter in Africa. Its chosen successor, however, its defense minister, Joao Lourenço, a loyalist, expected to avoid immediate change in a government often criticized for corruption and its failure to tackle child poverty. Lourenço's 63-year-old vowed to boost foreign investment and says the MPLA People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola would be carried to election victory by great popular support. At a weekend rally in front of thousands of party supporters, Dos Santos, a free-looking 74-year-old, made a brief appearance to endorse Lourenço. Dos Santos' long reign has seen the end of Angola's bloody civil war that lasted from 1975 to 2002 and a post-war investment boom as the country exploited its oil reserves. We'll be going on a short break. More news when we return. To stay with us. Welcome back. And from news around the world. North Korea's leader has ordered the production of more rocket warheads and engines shortly after the United States suggested that its threats of military action and sanctions were having an impact on Pyongyang's behavior. Inspecting the country's Chemical Material Institute of the Academy of Defense Science, which develops missiles, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un instructed the workers at the plant to produce more solid fuel rocket engines and rocket warhead tips, state media reported on Wednesday. North Korean leader Kim says he wanted a further expansion of the engine production process and the production capacity of rocket warhead tips and engine jets by carbon compound material. The North Korean state news agency also released photos that appeared to show the designs of one or possibly two new missiles that had not been seen before, which appeared to be the latest in a missile called Pokungsong-3. A research associate at the Center for Non-Proliferation Studies, Michael Dutzman, said the Pokungsong-3 is definitely new. The diagram suggested that the Pokungsong-3 might be designed to fly farther and to be launched from prospective canisters, which allow missiles to be transported more easily and makes them more difficult to locate and destroy in advance. Duitsman says the order missile was likely either a Hwasong-13 or Hwasong-11, which is another type of intercontinental ballistic missile. Pyongyang successfully tested the submarine-launched Pukgoksong-1 in August last year and test-fired the land-based Pukgoksong-2 in February this year. Both missiles are believed to have intermediate ranges. Kim's recent order followed weeks of tensions between Pyongyang and Washington and coincided with an annual joint drill being carried out by U.S. and South Korean forces on the Korean Peninsula. The order also came shortly after U.S. President Donald Trump suggested that his earlier tough talk on North Korea had resulted in Kim's respecting the U.S. Dozens of people have lost their lives in fresh air raids conducted by Saudi warplanes against residential areas in Yemen's western Sanaa province, with the bodies of at least 30 people recovered from the rubble of an inn in Sanaa province Arab district, which was hit by Saudi air raids. The death toll is expected to rise as an estimated 70 people were in the inn prior to the aerial assaults. Meanwhile, the Saudi air raids, which targeted security centers in the south of Sanaa city, killed 2 Yemenis and injured over 10 adults. Separately, on Wednesday, Yemeni army soldiers and allied popular forces launched rocket and artillery attacks on positions held by Saudi mercenaries in several areas across Yemen. The attacks killed 3 Saudi mercenaries in Yemen's southern Tahiz and Baidal province. Saudi Arabia has been leading a brutal military campaign against Yemen for more than 2 years to eliminate the Houthi movement and reinstall Riyadh-friendly former President Abd Rabbul Mansour Hadi. The Saudi aggression, however, has failed to achieve its goals despite spending billions of dollars on the war and enlisting the cooperation of its vassal states as well as some Western countries. The protracted war, which has been accompanied by a naval and aerial blockade on Yemen, has so far killed over 12,000 people and led to humanitarian crisis in the impoverished state. That's it on our world news for today. Let's join Anna for some sports news.
Thanks, Okemote, and on sport news. Neymar is to fight a claim by Barcelona for compensation following his move to Paris Saint-Germain and has also promised to battle his old club for part of his 2016 contract renewal premium, which he claims he has not been paid. The Brazil forward left the Nou Camp this month for a world record £200.6 million, joining Paris Saint-Germain in a move that more than doubled the previous highest fee. The Spanish club said on Tuesday they were pursuing damages from Neymar for what they alleged to be breach of contracts. Neymar's response is the latest move in an increasingly bitter war of words following his move to France. On Monday, Neymar said Barcelona deserved much more than the current board of directors and added that it made him very sad. On Tuesday, the Catalan club said they were chasing €8.5 million in damages with a 10% addition, and that if Neymar could not pay, PSG should. The demand appears to relate to a payment made to Neymar when in 2016 he renewed his contract with Barcelona through 2021. It was sent to the Spanish Football Federation on August 11 with a wish for it to be forwarded to the French Federation and FIFA. Despite his continued troubles with Barcelona, life as PSG player has started well for the 25-year-old, who scored on his debut and added 2 more along with 3 assists in a stunning show against Toulouse on Sunday. And still on sport, president of the DTB Ulrich Klaus has named a 3-time world leading champion Boris Becker, who was appointed on Wednesday as the head of men's tennis in his home country as the German Federation. Becker, who won 6 Grand Slams as player, was also a former Davis Cup coach for Germany from 1997 to 1999, but had an uneasy relationship with the federation. The 49-year-old had a hugely successful spell coaching former world number 1 Novak Djokovic from 2013 to 2016, a period in which the Serb won 6 of his 12 Grand Slam titles. However, Becker was declared bankrupt by a court in London in June after failing to pay a long-standing debt to UK-based private bankers since 2015. Still on sport, the McLaren Formula One team has announced that Stoffel Van Dorn will stay on at the British outfit in 2018. The Belgian had been expected to remain at McLaren after agreeing an initial long-term deal, but had not previously been confirmed by the working base team for the next season before an announcement on Wednesday morning. Van Dorn, the 2015 GP2 champion, has been at McLaren since he joined the team Young Driver program in 2013. He made his Grand Prix debut with the team in 2016, replacing Fernando Alonso for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and scored his first Formula One points with a 10th place finish. Van Dorn was promoted to a full-time race seat for the current season, replacing Jason Button alongside Alonso. The 25-year-old has endured a difficult 2017 season so far, having been overshadowed by the teammate Alonso, but scored his first points of the season in the last month Hungary Grand Prix. That's it on our sport bulletin. Let's join Ogali for the top stories. I am Anna Olutayo.
Thanks, Anne. But before we go, a quick look at our top stories that made the headlines. President Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, disclosed in a statement that a meeting of the Federal Executive Council will not hold today. Oil prices have fallen today, weighed down by concerns of oversupply as Libyan output improves. North Korea's leader has ordered the production of more rocket warheads and engines. And on sport, Neymar is to fight a claim by Barcelona for compensation following his move to Paris Saint-Germain, and also promised to battle his old club for part of his 2016. Thanks for watching. I am Ogali Mafuru. You can follow us on our social media platform by visiting our website at www.abnchannel.net. Follow us on Twitter at ABN Channel and like us on Facebook at ABN TV. You can also kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Broadcasting Network. Do have a lovely day.